Hi friends, this is Caitlin and today I'm sharing with you another Lawn Fawn platform pop-up card idea. So my best friend reached out and is desperately in need of a congratulations new baby card, and I just thought the little bundle stamps from Lawn Fawn as well as these beautiful flower market pattern papers would be the perfect thing to create a really fun and interactive card that somebody can display and keep around as a happy remembrance of their new baby. So I am so excited to be sharing another one of these cards with you. I know this has been a very popular topic on my channel, and if you enjoy this or need more crafty inspiration, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I post new videos every Friday. I have some really exciting things coming up in the fall, and we are almost to the 1,000 subscriber mark when I'm going to be doing a big giveaway. So go ahead and click that button and join our crafty family. I'm just going through to show you guys the different pieces of the pop-up card that I die cut out of my paper. So I have 2 of the grassy strips, I have 1 of the tees out of the green paper, 2 out of white, I have 2 of the little ribbon pieces and the stitched rectangle to go on the front. Then I'm going to be using this retired Lawn Fawn paper that I actually got as like a bonus in one of my Lawn Fawn packages as my background sky. And I showed before, but this paper is double-sided with a different pattern on the back, that cloud. So I'm also going to be cutting one of those sky pieces out of the yellow just to help disguise that and make everything look really cohesive. Then I'm using this gray stripe from the Flower Market pattern paper set to do the main part of my box, and I'm just pulling off some washi tape that I used to hold my die in place, and then I'm gonna get to work starting to get my coloring done and get all of my things ready to go. Really quickly, before we get too deep in, I just wanted to remind you I am going to be teaching as part of the Cardmaker Success Summit that is happening next week. It's June 28th to the 31st. It's an amazing 3 or 4 day online card making event. It's free to attend. I'll have a link down in the description box below where you can claim your free ticket, and there are going to be other opportunities for getting like a VIP pass that gets you some extra amazing goodies and access to more things. So if that seems like something you would want, definitely go check out that link. It helps to support me and my channel, and I just appreciate it. So back to this card, I started out by Copic coloring in my little onesies, and I'm just using my neutral gray markers, the same colors. I kept this very simple and clean. I really wanted to keep my whole card very kind of soft and simple. And when she made the request for the card, I didn't think to ask if it was for a boy or a girl, but I kind of love that this is a really gender neutral card, and that way you could make a couple and have them, you know, in your stash ready to go for anybody that might need them. Because just who doesn't want something extra special, especially for something like a new baby, something that you can put on a shelf and display for a while. To me, just it gives you an extra reason to celebrate and a reminder of, you know, the support system that you have in place, and I just love that idea. So I took sentiment stamps from that same little bundle stamp set to put welcome little one on that front rectangle, and I die cut all of my pieces out. Now is when we're going to kind of create our backer for that sky panel. So I'm using my bone folder to fold in the score lines of that cloud panel the normal way, and I am folding the yellow panel score lines backwards, so that way the 2 pieces fit together and I can cover up this kind of autumny stripe. When this was all done, you could see a teeny tiny little sliver of that stripe on the edges, but I really didn't mind, and I just think that the yellow helps to brighten everything up and gave a nice space for my friend to write her sentiment. I love that idea for these cards of writing your sentiment right on the back, or at least a to and from, and that way you can kind of just keep it really sweet and simple. If you have pattern paper that works for both sides for your design, by all means you could definitely skip that step, or if your paper is just one-sided, you wouldn't have to worry about it. But I just didn't love how the stripe colors worked with the rest of the card. So I'm going in with my bone folder now, and I'm just scoring all of the sections for both sides of our platform. These are really easy. I love this die set because it just does all of the hard work for you, and once you get the hang of practicing putting it all together, it actually goes together really quickly. Every time I'm impressed with how easy it is. I get myself kind of hyped up about it being a lot, and then once it comes time to build it, it goes together way quicker than I think every single time. So I put double-sided tape on the 2 white tees, and I trimmed off the bottom section of my green tee. That was what's going to go in the middle. And then I'm putting the same double-sided tape on the upper flaps of my 2 platform sides, and we're just going to put them all together. So you insert the tee, one of those white tees, into the section that has the little hole on the top, and pull it down nice and tight, and then you fold it up 1 layer and remove your tape, and just make sure everything is nice and flush. Then you remove the tape from your platform flap and fold that up 1 step, and that's pretty much it. And you'd repeat the thing on the other side. If you have any confusion about this, or I'm going too quickly, make sure you check out Lawn Fawn's video on how they do it. They walk you through very slowly, step by step, and it's a great resource. I usually rewatch it every time before I put one of these together, but I promise you it's really not hard. So I put a little bit of double-sided tape on each of those side flaps as well, and then now we're going to start to put everything together. So I really like to put my sky background on before I put my whole box together. This is a little different than the way they show it on the Lawn Fawn video, but I found that it's just easier for me to get a good angle in there. So I'm adding really, really thin, I think it's 1/8 inch double-sided tape, and I'm just going to line that up against that scalloped area, and it's easier for me if I flip it upside down, and then I can get it lined up with the creases of the platform. So you can see our little sky there, and now I'm going to attach that green tee to the center part, and I just use double-sided tape again and line it up with the other tee. It doesn't have to be exact. And this is the one that we're going to adhere our little clothesline poles to, and I'll put the grass on the white tees that are in front and behind this, and that way it just kind of helps to disguise everything. You could do grass on all 3, you could do grass on none, you could do whatever you want, and that's the really fun thing about these pop-up platform dies, is that you can really customize it to whatever look makes you happy. I've also found that it's easier for me to add in those grassy pieces while everything's still kind of separated, but definitely try it out both ways and see what works best for you. It might just be because of my nails, but I have a hard time getting into all of the different angles once the whole platform is put together, and so I just prefer to add in those little things beforehand and then put everything together all at once at the end. So now I'm lining up those flaps. You just do one side, and then I put double-sided tape all the way across the middle section, and then you just kind of fold it over like a little book, and everything goes together, and then you just fold over that last flap and adhere it down, and it's good to go. So I love that these cards fit in a regular envelope. I usually jump up to a 5x7 just to make sure that I have enough room. If you're not using the sky piece, it would fit in a regular A2 sized envelope, but I love the sky. I think it really helps to pull the whole scene together. And I love how easy it is to push this up and have it kind of lock into place. Some of the other interactive dies that I've seen, you basically have to send a booklet of instructions for the recipient, and I love that this one is just so simple but so impactful. So I added that really thin double-sided tape again to these little ribbon stitch pieces. This also has a bow option that you can put a bow in the middle, but I thought it would just be a cute way to tie in the yellow and give a little bit of extra something to this rectangle that I'm going to be adding. For the rectangle sentiment, I put foam tape really thin, just to give it a little bit of bump so it stands out away from that ribbon and gives a little bit of dimension without adding a lot of bulk to the card. So I just got that pretty centered and pressed it down into place. And then the last step is going to be putting our clothing line together. So I took my 2 little poles that I had stamped out in Lawn Fawn's Crunchy Leaf ink, and you can see I'm kind of angling them in on their own with the string the way it was, they were a little too wide to fit on the grass, and this is why I'm really happy that I used liquid glue for this, because I had time to wiggle and re-angle those poles in a little bit more before they dried, and that way everything fits perfectly. Whereas if you had done glue dots or something like that, tape runner, it would be a little bit harder to shift. So I also use liquid glue on my onesies, and I'm just attaching them to the clothesline. And then the last step, once all of those are in place, is using my jewel picker, and I'm grabbing the little clothespins that I stamped in a soft yellow ink, just so that they kind of look like they're hanging on that line. You could definitely skip this step and just have them up there. I just wanted one more way to include that yellow, and I thought that this would be really sweet. So I had so much fun putting together this card. I am absolutely in love with the platform pop-up die. And so if you've been thinking about it, or you have it and you just can't think of more ways to use it, I hope this helps inspire you to get creative with how you could do different stamp sets into a scene. And I definitely have some big plans for this stamp set for the fall. So keep an eye out for that. I hope you're feeling super inspired to play with a die that might be a little bit intimidating or you don't reach for all the time. So thank you so much for being here today. Please make sure you go check out the link down below for that free ticket to the Cardmaker Success Summit. It would mean the world to me if you could pop into my class. And thank you for being here. I hope you have an amazing week. And as always, happy crafting.